Chapter 41. Take the initiative to kiss. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 41. Take the initiative to kiss. Translator. Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation. Chen Jiaji did not expect Bei Qingqing to take the initiative to kiss him. His face instantly became a little hot, turning red. He felt that his mind was a little muddled, and everything seemed to have stopped in time. Bei Qingqing gently moved away from his lips. When she saw the man's dull eyes and red ears, she felt that he was a little funny. Why was he as innocent as she was? Chen Jiaji was still immersed in the kiss just now, but Bei Qingqing pulled him over and took the initiative to sit on his lap. In an instant, the softness invaded his lips again, and the fragrance of jasmine echoed between his lips. Chen Jiaji gradually woke up, and his eyes were a little blurred. He could not help but turn the tables and switch the positions of the two of them. Looking at the red face of the beauty under him, his brain buzzed, and he did not want to think about anything else. Chen Jiaji took the initiative to cover her soft lips. His hands searched for Bei Qingqing's small hands. His fingers were interlocked with hers. They were tightly clenched, and his fingers were slightly red from exertion. They lingered like this for a long time, until the phone began to beep. Bei Qingqing tried his best to get her head out of his body. She took 2 deep breaths of air and gently pushed him. "All right, time to sleep. I've used up all my quota for today." Bei Qingqing's face was still a little red, and her breathing was a little uneven. "How did time pass so quickly? Is it because your phone's time isn't right? Why don't I change your phone?" Chen Jiaji leaned on her shoulder and sniffed reluctantly. Bei Qingqing was speechless for a moment. If this man did not want to end it, he should have just said so. He still needed to use such a lame excuse to stall. He was really like a child. "If you don't believe me, you can check the time on your phone." Bei Qingqing tried hard to struggle out from under him. Chen Jiaji acted shamelessly. "Then my phone must be broken too. I'll go and change it too. I'll change it to a phone that takes a little longer than half an hour." Bei Qingqing rolled her eyes. Finally, she used all his strength to get out from under him. "Your body hasn't fully recovered yet. Let's talk about it after you recover," Bei Qingqing said casually. Chen Jiaji's eyes lit up when he heard this. "Then I'll go for rehabilitation tomorrow." Bei Qingqing was speechless. "The doctor has already suggested that you go for rehabilitation half a month after you wake up." Chen Jiaji pouted. "I don't care about that. I won't accept this suggestion. I'll go tomorrow. Wait for me to recover before I teach you a good lesson." He emphasized the last few words. This made Bei Qingqing blush. She was a little shy but also a little expectant. However, she still said unhappily, "You're not being serious at all. I don't want to talk to you anymore." As she said that, she pretended to be angry and turned her head to the side. Chen Jiaji looked at the red earlobe and laughed in his heart. He gently hooked his arm around Bei Qingqing's chin and slowly turned her face around. He inched closer to her gently. "How are you not serious? Are you thinking about something else?" Seeing Chen Jiaji raise his eyebrows and stare at her, Bei Qingqing bit her lips and did not say a word. However, Chen Jiaji would not let her off so easily. His hands looped around her waist and pulled her in front of his chest. He slowly moved closer to Bei Qingqing's lips. "Can you let me advance the quota for tomorrow? Half an hour is not enough." Bei Qingqing blushed. She still had class tomorrow. If she agreed to her request, she would definitely kiss until midnight again tonight. She could only be ruthless and not look at that aggrieved face. She shook her head and refused. Chapter 42. Results of his rehabilitation. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 42. Results of his rehabilitation. After Bei's incident last time, Bei Qingqing's reputation in school had improved a lot and her classmates had become friendlier towards her. This made her very happy every day in school, and time passed very quickly. When she returned home in the evening, she found that a bunch of fitness equipment had mysteriously appeared in her house. The servants were installing them into Chen Jiaji's rehabilitation room. Wow, he bought so much equipment all of a sudden. Bei Qingqing stood at the door and sighed. Benove calm butler Zhang explained from behind. Young master said that rehabilitation training needs to be put on the schedule as soon as possible, so he ordered people to buy the types of rehabilitation equipment available on the market one by one. Bei Qingqing was speechless. What was important was the rehabilitation training itself, and not the equipment. No matter how much he bought, he only had one body, right? In just a short while, the rehabilitation room was completely new. The rehabilitation equipment of all sizes and shapes took up the entire room. Chen Jiaji waved his hand. Take a look. What do you think? Bei Qingqing thought that it was nothing much, but in order not to discourage his enthusiasm, she still nodded. Seeing Bei Qingqing's approval, Chen Jiaji was even happier. He immediately dismissed all the servants and decided to start training tonight. Bei Qingqing could not dissuade him, so she could only accompany him. Chen Jiaji confidently went to the fitness equipment. Before he fainted, these were not considered a big deal, but in a short while, his confidence was gone. He had been unconscious in bed for 3 years, and his muscles had atrophied over time. Now, he only exercised a little and did some small movements, but he was covered in sweat. Looking at the clothes stuck to his body, Chen Jiaji frowned. His mysophobia had also started. Bei Qingqing had no choice but to quickly bring him clean clothes and put them on for him. Chen Jiaji gave her a look of approval and continued to train. However, in less than a few minutes, the clothes were soaked in sweat again. Chen Jiaji turned around and looked at Bei Qingqing expectantly. He signaled with his eyes that his mysophobia had started. It was time to change clothes. If you continue at this speed, you won't even know how many times you have to change your clothes in an hour. You might as well stop wearing them, Bei Qingqing said snappily. Chen Jiaji raised the corners of his eyes. Are you sure? Bei Qingqing looked at his playful expression and ignored him. Chen Jiaji thought for a moment. It was troublesome to have Bei Qingqing run errands for him to get his clothes, so he decisively took off his clothes. Bei Qingqing's eyes were half-closed. As expected, no matter how many times she looked at him, she would still feel shy. As a result, when she was shy, Chen Jiaji did some upper body exercises as if he was teasing her. Sometimes he asked her to help him massage his shoulders, and sometimes he asked her to help him do sit-ups. After more than 10 minutes, Bei Qingqing's face was already red, and his strong body kept flashing in her mind. Finally, 2 hours later, Chen Jiaji ended the training. Bei Qingqing finally let out a sigh of relief. However, just as she pushed him back into the room before she could even catch her breath, Chen Jiaji pressed down on her like a debt collector, suffocating her. I'm going to collect today's kissing quota. Bei Qingqing had no choice but to close her eyes with a red face, allowing him to kiss her. The mature man's scent on his body kept reminding her of his strong body, and her body could not help but become hot. This subtle reaction was accurately captured by Chen Jiaji. He whispered in her ear, "Shall we test the results of the exercise just now tonight?" Bei Qingqing blushed and closed her eyes slightly, tacitly agreeing with his next move. Chapter 43. Caress. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 43. Caress. Looking at Bei Qingqing's bashful expression, Chen Jiaji felt his blood boil. Good girl, Chen Jiaji whispered into Bei Qingqing's ear. The warm breath blew behind her ear, and she could not help but tremble. Seeing that Bei Qingqing did not resist his actions, Chen Jiaji also became bold. He no longer restrained the spark in his heart and kissed Bei Qingqing's soft lips. The fragrance spread from his mouth to his nose, and Chen Jiaji felt his whole body was floating. Bei Qingqing's face was red, and her body was constantly burning and trembling. Chen Jiaji's hands were restless. They moved around Bei Qingqing's body and then reached into her clothes. Bei Qingqing suddenly became nervous. She remembered that she did not wear underwear after taking a shower for the sake of convenience, but she did not expect to have such a thing with Qin Jiaji. Without the clothes, her soft hands seemed to light a fire on Bei Qingqing's body. Bei Qingqing's eyes were blurred. She was looking forward to Qin Jiaji's next move. After all, they had become husband and wife. These things were very normal, but she did not expect it to be tonight. However, when Bei Qingqing was ready, Qin Jiaji slowly let go of her when half an hour was up. "I've used up the quota for today," Qin Jiaji said lightly by her ear. Bei Qingqing was speechless. At this juncture, why would he obey the rules? Go to sleep. Qin Jiaji left Bei Qingqing with both hands. Seeing her blushing face, he could not help but laugh and lie down. Bei Qingqing felt that Qin Jiaji was deliberately teasing her, stirring up her fire and extinguishing it immediately. But even so, Bei Qingqing still heaved a sigh of relief. After all, although she was mentally prepared for this kind of thing, she was not completely prepared. She was still a little nervous and a little afraid. Bei Qingqing slowly lay down and gently squeezed her blanket. Thinking about what had happened just now, her heart started to beat wildly. However, just as she closed her eyes, she was pulled into Qin Jiaji's arms. "Why do I feel that you're a little disappointed? Do you still want it? I can satisfy you." Qin Jiaji gently leaned closer to her. Bei Qingqing had a shy look on her face. Why did he do it again? She was a little flustered. Bei Qingqing did not say anything because she did not know how to respond to the teasing words. She could only gently hug the blanket beside her and bury her head into the pillow with her back facing Qin Jiaji. Qin Jiaji could not help but laugh when he saw Bei Qingqing's flustered look. He was only teasing her, why was she shy? Seeing Bei Qingqing pretending to be asleep, Qin Jiaji stopped playing with her and fell asleep with the soft person in his arms. The next day, Bei Qingqing did not go to school. Because of what happened at school, she did not want to go to school, so she took a leave of absence. She just happened to have some time after taking a leave of absence, so she could accompany Qin Jiaji at home for rehabilitation training. Qin Jiaji was very disciplined. Bei Qingqing basically stayed by his side, helping him take the water and wipe his sweat, and doing small things within her ability. At this time, Bei Qingqing found that the warm water she brought over had been finished by Qin Jiaji. She stood up to refill the water. On the way to the kitchen, Bei Qingqing actually saw Qin Jingji sunbathing in the courtyard. Chapter 44. The Jealous Man. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Chapter 44. The Jealous Man. Bei Qingqing was shocked. The teapot in her hand almost fell to the ground. Why was he here? Bei Qingqing remembered that on their wedding night, she and Qin Jiaji were almost bullied by Qin Jingji. Moreover, Qin Jiaji woke up on that day. After he woke up, Qin Jiaji was very angry, so he punished Qin Jingji. Qin Jingji's leg was broken. Why did he come back so early? No, Bei Qingqing reacted. She did not see Qin Jingji for a while because he went to take care of his leg. This was Qin Jingji's home after all. Bei Qingqing became nervous. When he saw Qin Jingji, he thought of what happened that night, and she felt her back going cold. Clearly, Qin Jingji had also seen Bei Qingqing from the courtyard. That day, he had jumped down from the building and was lucky that there were still some things underneath that broke his fall. That was why he was so lucky that he only had one leg broken. After lying in the hospital for so many days, he was about to go crazy from holding it in. Today, when he came out to bask in the sun, he had coincidentally seen his sister in law. When Qin Jingji saw Bei Qingqing, he gritted his teeth. If Bei Qingqing had not resisted back then, how could Qin Jiaji, that bastard, have the chance to wake up? If Qin Jiaji did not wake up, how could his leg be broken? Qin Jingji looked at Bei Qingqing and felt like his eyes were about to spew fire. Bei Qingqing quickly pretended not to see him and wanted to leave quickly. Yo, isn't it sister.in.law? Why didn't you greet me when you saw me? Chen Jingji gnashed his teeth. Bei Qingqing felt like her head was aching. Hearing Chen Jingji gnashing his teeth, she knew that he was going to find trouble again. As expected, Chen Jingji began to say sarcastically, "You're a sparrow trying to be a phoenix, huh? My mother talks about you every day, saying that our sister in.law is a lucky star. My brother woke up as soon as he came to our house. But why don't I feel it? My leg broke as soon as you came. I think you're the jinx of our Chen family." Bei Qingqing rolled her eyes. He was blaming her for everything. His broken leg was self-inflicted, all right. Bei Qingqing really wanted to fight back, but after thinking about it, Chen Jiaji was still waiting for her in the rehabilitation room, so she did not want to bother with Chen Jingji. After all, even if a dog bit you, you could not bite it back. She wanted to leave. However, Chen Jingji did not give up and continued to attack her. Do you think that you can be rich forever just by climbing into Chen Jiaji's bed? Do you think that you're the madam of the Chen family now? It's so funny. A poor person like you can only serve tea and water by my brother's side, just like a servant. Bah! Do you really think you've become a phoenix? An unpresentable thing. Do you think you're worthy? Why don't you look in the mirror? Moreover, Chen Jiaji has a childhood sweetheart who is hundreds of times more outstanding than you. Any man who isn't blind will like Lu Yao, not you, an ignorant and untalented woman. Grow a brain. Bei Qingqing was attacked by Chen Jingji for a while. She could not bear it anymore. Bei Qingqing turned around and smiled at Chen Jingji, then, she said, "Is that so? Whether I am worthy or not is none of your business. What does it have to do with you? My relationship with Chen Jiaji is very good now, even better than your relationship with him as a cripple. Now that you've lost a leg, stop jumping around before you lose the other leg. At that time, I don't think even a toad will like you, right?" Bei Qingqing returned the favor with a personal attack. Chapter 45. Punishment. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 45. Punishment. You. Chen Jingji was so angry that he could not speak. However, in the next second, Chen Jingji suddenly seemed to have changed into a different person. He pretended to be harmless and said, "Sister.in.law, how can you say that? I know I did something wrong in the past, but now I have received the punishment that I deserve. You can't attack me at this point." Bei Qingqing was stunned. What was going on? She subconsciously turned around to take a look. As expected, Chen Jiaji had already stood behind her. Chen Jingji continued, "I know you have a good relationship with Big Brother, but even if you're not satisfied with me, you can't attack my physical defects." Bei Qingqing could not refute him at the moment. She felt that Chen Jingji was really shameless. Is that so? Well, I attacked you. So what? Bei Qingqing could not help it. She could not bear to hear such shameless words. Chen Jingji was stunned for a moment. Then, he looked at Chen Jiaji pitifully. Chen Jiaji saw that Chen Jingji was also in a wheelchair. He looked a little like himself, so he felt a little uncomfortable. Then, he thought about his wedding night. Chen Jingji dared to covet his woman, so his heart became even more irritated. He blamed himself for waking up too late, or else Chen Jingji would not be able to touch his woman at all. "Men, since young master is not feeling well, bring him back to his room. If there's nothing, don't let him out for a walk to avoid being attacked," Chen Jiaji said unhappily. Chen Jingji was completely dumbfounded. That pitiful act just now was useless. Not only was it useless, but it also angered Chen Jiaji. He immediately begged for mercy. "Brother. I was wrong. Don't lock me back in. I'm going crazy in the room. It's all my fault. I shouldn't have made sister.in.law angry. I'll endure it if sister Law scolds me in the future. Chen Jingji immediately said pitifully. Chen Jiaji looked at Chen Jingji. The more he looked at him, the angrier he got. He turned around and said to the butler, find another house outside and send him out. He will live outside. Don't come back if there's nothing else. Chen Jingji was stunned. Before he could react, he was carried out by Chen Jiaji's men. When he left, Chen Jingji looked at Bei Qingqing with resentment. This woman was really his jinx. He had suffered several times because he met her. Some vicious thoughts arose in Chen Jingji's heart, but now he could only listen to Chen Jiaji's words and leave. What did you two talk about? Chen Jiaji asked with interest after Chen Jingji left. Bei Qingqing thought of the embarrassing words that Chen Jingji had just said and looked at Chen Jiaji's ashen face. She did not want those stupid things to affect him. So she just answered indifferently, nothing much. It's just a small matter, something that was once unpleasant. Chen Jiaji was unhappy. Judging from Chen Jingji's attitude towards Bei Qingqing, they had clearly known each other before. Chen Jingji knew Bei Qingqing before him, which made him feel unhappy. Could it be that there was something between the two of them that he did not know? Chen Jiaji's face turned green as he approached Bei Qingqing. He pinched her chin and raised her head. Is there anything that you can't tell me? Do you still have secrets from me? Bei Qingqing looked at Chen Jiaji's angry eyes and immediately realized that Chen Jiaji was really angry. However, she felt a little speechless. Why was he angry for no reason? Chapter 46. Calling him hubby. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 46. Calling him hubby. Looking at Chen Jiaji's angry look, Bei Qingqing was also a little confused. She said, there's really nothing between us. We just had a small argument just now. Chen Jiaji snorted in disbelief. He said, I'm not a fool. I can still vividly remember what happened on the wedding night. I know Chen Jingji is a bastard, so I punished him. One of his legs is already broken. Should we discuss how to punish you now? Bei Qingqing's mind was buzzing. How could she be blamed for this? Strictly speaking, she was a victim. Bei Qingqing said helplessly, what do you mean by how to punish me? I didn't do anything wrong. I'm the one who was bullied. Not only did Chen Jiaji not let go of her, but he even went up to her and questioned, then why didn't you call me when you were bullied? Shouldn't you be punished for being so insensible? Bei Qingqing silently rolled her eyes. He had already said all the good words, so she did not need to say anything. However, Bei Qingqing also knew that since Chen Jiaji was now pestering her, he would not let go easily. It was useless to go against him. Therefore, Bei Qingqing had no choice but to admit defeat and ask, all right, you have a point. Then tell me, how do you want to punish me? Bei Qingqing put on an innocent expression. The jealousy in Chen Jiaji's heart also faded a little, as if he was not so angry anymore. Chen Jiaji thought for a moment and smiled, then I'll punish you now. You have to call me hubby first. Bei Qingqing felt that Chen Jiaji was simply hopeless. His actions were getting more and more unpredictable. Aya, stop fooling around, Bei Qingqing said softly. However, Chen Jiaji immediately held her in his arms and said stubbornly, I'm not fooling around with you. This is my punishment. Then, are you willing to accept it? It was broad daylight now. Bei Qing was afraid that people would see their intimate actions, so he quickly let go of her. Chen Jiaji looked at Bei Qing's bashful look. The more she struggled, the tighter his hands became. You haven't told me whether you will accept the punishment or not. If you don't address me as hubby, I can't let go of you. Chen Jiaji was like a scoundrel. Bei Qingqing was secretly complaining about how she met this kind of abnormal husband. However, there was no other way. After all, she was still in Chen Jiaji's hands. The sooner she admitted defeat, the sooner he would be done. Thus, Bei Qingqing braced herself and said, give me some time to prepare. I'll call you hubby tonight. Chen Jiaji smiled in satisfaction and compromised. When Bei Qingqing saw that he let go of her hand slightly, she immediately broke free and ran away with a red face. During dinner, Bei Qingqing was still sitting next to Chen Jiaji. Looking at the table full of delicious food, Bei Qingqing's mood was much better. However, she vaguely felt that the atmosphere at the table today was not very right. This was also the first time she saw Chen Jiaji's father, a serious middle-aged man, wearing a pair of black-rimmed glasses and sitting in the main seat with a serious expression. Bei Qingqing greeted him while they were eating, but he only responded faintly. Bei Qingqing felt that Chen Jiaji's cold personality was probably inherited from his father. Yuli. Jiaji, I heard that you're going to send Jingji out. What's going on? Chen Tianfeng questioned Chen Jiaji coldly. Bei Qingqing was shocked. How did her father-in-law find out so quickly? It seemed that they were going to quarrel again. Chapter 47. The battle between father and son. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 47. The battle between father and son. Chen Jiaji was an independent person with a strong sense of self-awareness. He had been like this since he was young. Therefore, even Chen Tianfeng could not control him in the family. Chen Tianfeng and Chen Jiaji were both people who insisted on their own views. Therefore, as time passed, the two of them would easily have conflicts over big and small matters. They had never gotten along very well. It was just that the two of them did not talk much, and they kept their conflicts to themselves. However, Chen Jingji was different. His character was more like his mother's, and he was good at socializing since he was young. He was very popular among his parents. He also had an eloquent mouth and silver tongue, and he was full of lies. Therefore, Chen Tianfeng had been biased over the past few years, and he was completely doting on Chen Jingji. In his eyes, Chen Jingji was just a child. What kind of heinous things could a child do? Even if he was a playboy, he did not make any big mistakes. He did not understand why Chen Jiaji could not tolerate him. Your brother is just a child. He's still young. What can he understand? Do you have to chase him out? Chen Tianfeng said bitterly. Chen Jiaji was cold, but his heart was also cold. His father's preference lasted for many years. Now that Chen Jingji was an adult, he still favored him at this time. Chen Jiaji pinched the cup in his hand and said coldly, "Child. Your son is not a giant baby anymore." In the past, he could turn a blind eye to it, but now that Chen Jingji, who did not know what was good for him, actually bullied his wife, he was simply too bold. You. How can you say that about your brother? Chen Tianfeng angrily questioned. Chen Jiaji said lightly, "Why not? I just don't like him. If you can't discipline your own son well, then don't blame me for helping you discipline him." Chen Tianfeng was so angry that he trembled. He stood up and glared at Chen Jiaji. He angrily said, "He's still injured. That broken leg of his was also caused by you, right? I will not pursue this matter with you. However, his injury has not recovered yet. There are still people at home who can take care of him. If you send him out, who will take care of him? Aren't you trying to take his life?" Chen Jiaji did not even lift his eyelids. He said casually, "Oh. In that case, why don't you move out to accompany him? In any case, your heart aches for him so that you won't miss him day and night. You unfilial son." Chen Tianfeng was so angry at Chen Jiaji that he kept coughing, scaring the people around him. They all tried to help him calm down. Chen Tianfeng took a few breaths and felt that his eldest son seemed to have changed. Ever since he woke up this time, he seemed to have changed into a different person. In the past, Chen Jiaji was a little stubborn, but he would not talk to him like he did now. Chen Tianfeng was thinking about what caused this, and he caught a glimpse of Bei Qingqing from the corner of his eye. He suddenly realized that it must be this woman. Ever since she came to his home, Chen Jingji's leg had been broken, and now he was being chased out by Chen Jiaji. He thought that it must be Bei Qingqing who had stirred up trouble and instigated the relationship between the two brothers. Otherwise, it would not have come to this point. Chen Tianfeng looked at Bei Qingqing with a livid expression. He pointed at her and asked, "Are you the woman who bewitched my son? What did you do?" Bei Qingqing was stunned by the sudden accusation. She did not expect that the blame could be placed on her. As the saying goes, like father, like son. Chapter 48. Make her leave the Chen family. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 48. Make her leave the Chen family. Bei Qingqing cursed silently in her heart. This Chen Jingji and his father were practically carved out of the same mold. He was a master at shifting the blame. Chen Jingji's leg was clearly caused by his own deserved punishment. If Chen Jingji had not caused trouble with her in the beginning, then these things would not have happened in the first place. Facing Chen Tianfeng's sudden accusation, Bei Qingqing did not know how to answer. Moreover, she did not do anything to Chen Jiaji, let alone something like bewitching the two brothers. "I didn't do anything," Bei Qingqing said in a low voice. Chen Tianfeng snorted. "If it's not you, then who is it? Nothing good has happened since you came to this house." Bei Qingqing felt wronged, but this was her father-in-law after all. She could not refute him like she did Chen Jingji. She really could not say it out loud. "I think you must be the one behind my son's back, trying to sow discord between the two brothers. Although I don't know what your motive is, I'm warning you, if you want to stay in this house, then you have to be more honest." Bei Qingqing felt frustrated. She wanted to explain, but she did not know where to begin. Her father-in-law was clearly biased against her. Bei Qingqing knew that even if she explained, it would be useless. Chen Jiaji snorted coldly and held Bei Qingqing's hand. Chen Jiaji said indifferently, "You don't have the mood to question my woman, do you? If you can't bear to part with Chen Jingji, fine. Then I'll leave. Qingqing and I will move out and start our own family in the future." Chen Tianfeng was stunned for a moment and was very shocked. His son, whom he had raised for so many years, was actually going to threaten him to split his family for a woman. He had really rebelled. At the same time, Li Yilan, who remained silent at the side, was also frightened. There had always been some minor conflicts between Chen Jiaji and Chen Tianfeng, so Li Yilan did not take it to heart when they quarreled. She just did not expect that it would be so serious today. They were about to split. Li Yilan hurriedly tried to mediate the situation. She gently said to Chen Jiaji, "Don't be so angry. Your father didn't mean it. We're a family. Don't say such things." Chen Jiaji said in a muffled voice, "He didn't mean it, but I meant what I said. Bei Qingqing, push me back to my room." "I'm tired," Chen Jiaji gently said to Bei Qingqing. Bei Qingqing immediately reacted. She nodded to her parents-in-law and pushed Chen Jiaji away from the dining table. Watching Chen Jiaji leave, Chen Tianfeng's blood pressure rose sharply. He slammed the table angrily. It's really the opposite. It must be this ungrateful woman who is whispering in my son's ear. That's why Jiaji is so rebellious now. Chen Tianfeng was so angry that his hands were shaking, but he insisted that it was Bei Qingqing's fault. Li Yilan was speechless. She said unhappily, "What does this have to do with Qingqing? It's all because your words are too harsh. That's why our son isn't willing to stay under the same roof as you. Qingqing is a good child. Moreover, ever since Qingqing came to our house, Jiaji has also woken up. His business is also getting better and better. She's clearly our family's little lucky star." Chen Tianfeng snorted in dissatisfaction. "What little lucky star? Women are so lenient." This woman looked simple and innocent on the outside. Perhaps she had been scheming behind the scenes to become the new master of the Chen family. No, now that Jiaji has already woken up, Bei Qingqing cannot stay here any longer. Chapter 49. Move Out. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 49. Move out. What nonsense are you talking about? What happened to Jingji had nothing to do with Qingqing. Besides, you have spoiled Jingji. A good child was ruined just like that. Do you want to ruin Jiaji as well? Li Yilan looked at her husband in surprise. You were blinded by that woman. I'm the only one who can see things clearly in this house. I don't care. Jiaji is awake now. She's no longer useful in this house. She can be replaced by any nanny, Chen Tianfeng said stubbornly. Tut, why do you have such thoughts? She's just a little girl. It's already bad enough to marry a vegetable. Now that Jiaji has finally woken up, you want to chase her away. Isn't this a bit like cutting the mill and killing the donkey? Li Yilan questioned. Chen Tianfeng did not know how to answer Li Yilan's question, but he still insisted that it was Bei Qingqing's fault. He thought that Li Yilan was the same as his son. They were both deceived by this simple-looking woman. I don't want to argue with you. In any case, this person can't stay in our Chen family. This woman is a disaster. Chen Tianfeng's son can find any wife on this planet. Li Yilan rolled her eyes at him angrily. She continued, if you really think so, then I will move out with my son when the time comes. You can stay here alone. Oh, no. You can stay here with your precious son. You don't have to look for me anymore. Aren't you making trouble for no reason? We are discussing the matter of the children. Why are you making trouble? Chen Tianfeng was infuriated by the mother and son pair. Who's the one making trouble? It's clearly you. You haven't even come into contact with Qingqing, so why are you so sure that it's Qingqing's problem? If you're like this, I don't have the need to live with you anymore. Li Yilan said angrily. She was not willing to talk to Chen Tianfeng anymore. On the other side, Bei Qingqing slowly pushed Chen Jiaji back into the room. Her heart was a mess. Chen Jiaji and Chen Tianfeng's quarrel had already made her heart jump. She did not expect Chen Jiaji to quarrel with Chen Tianfeng because of him. Bei Qingqing could not help but blame herself. Seeing Bei Qingqing's complicated expression, Chen Jiaji also felt very upset. What's wrong? You look bitter. It's like someone owes you money. Bei Qingqing said apologetically, I'm sorry. I seem to have troubled you with tonight's matter. Chen Jiaji smiled but did not continue the topic. Instead, he said, you should fulfill your promise during the day. Didn't you say that you would call me hubby at night? Bei Qingqing was stunned for a moment. How could he still have the mood to do such a thing at a time like this? However, when she thought about how Chen Jiaji had protected her at night, she was very touched. She obediently called out, hubby. When Chen Jiaji heard her soft and cute voice, he felt his heart melt. He kissed her when she was not paying attention. Bei Qingqing had not recovered from her guilt. She was blinded by this sudden kiss. She subconsciously took the initiative to respond. However, Chen Jiaji did not ask for too long and quickly let her go. Looking at Bei Qingqing's shy expression and misty eyes, Chen Jiaji's heart moved. He held Bei Qingqing's hand and gently asked, like I said tonight, just the two of us, can we move out? Chapter 50. Chen Jingji's slander. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 50. Chen Jingji's slander. Bei Qingqing was stunned for a moment. Was he asking for her opinion? She asked blankly, do you want my advice? Chen Jiaji said seriously, it's not a suggestion. I want to know what you think. If you want to move out, then we'll move out together. If you want to stay, then I'll stay with you. I want you to decide. Bei Qingqing looked at the serious look in Chen Jiaji's eyes and felt warm in her heart. For so many years, no one had ever asked her for such a serious opinion in life. Bei Qingqing was very touched. She nodded and said, I'm willing to move out with you. The two of us can live together. Living in this villa, Bei Qingqing always felt like she was living under someone else's roof. She did not have much of a sense of belonging. However, if she and Chen Jiaji had a small family of their own, she was also very willing. After receiving Bei Qingqing's affirmative answer, Chen Jiaji kissed her lips again. As he crazily demanded, he muttered, "Tonight's quota hasn't been used up yet. Let's not waste it." Bei Qingqing blushed, but she did not refuse his action. In the next few days, Chen Jiaji started to prepare to move. He saw a nice house. It was very suitable to be used as a love nest for two people. In this house, he planned to take away all the things that Bei Qingqing liked so that she would be accustomed to the new house. On the other side, Bei Qingqing had also returned to school. The people who bullied her in school the last time had all been suspended. However, the rumors and discussions about her in school had not subsided. On the contrary, recently, the topic had become even more heated because of Chen Jingji's rumors. Chen Jingji opened a post on the school forum. In the post, he said that after Bei Qingqing married into his house, Chen Jiaji had just woken up and had not yet recovered. Therefore, Bei Qingqing often seduced him at home, unwilling to be lonely. This made him very troubled, so he made a post to ask for help. This explosive post became very popular on the school's forum. Bei Qingqing. Isn't she the one who was beautiful and valiant last time, the one who tore apart and bullied her classmates? It must be that Bei Qingqing who married into a wealthy family. Who would have thought that she would be so lustful that she wouldn't even let go of her own brother. Lol. That's impossible. It's said that Chen Jiaji is much more handsome than Chen Jingji. As long as his eyes aren't blind, he should be able to make a choice, right? No matter how handsome you are or how good your body is, so what? Some women just don't want to be lonely. Even if you look like a pig, as long as your body is strong enough, it's fine. After reading these messages, Chen Jingji was very satisfied. He also posted some suggestive messages on the internet from time to time. It created an atmosphere that he and Bei Qingqing were having an affair. These posts were crazily forwarded by the school's forum, and when the students saw Bei Qingqing, they began to look at her with disdain. Bei Qingqing looked at Chen Jingji's slanderous posts, and she was very angry. At first, she thought that she would just endure it and let it go. But he did not expect that he would actually go even further and keep publicly slandering her on the internet. Bei Qingqing could not stand it anymore. She immediately signed up for an account on the school forum and commented on Chen Jingji's slandering post. Is breaking a leg not enough to teach you a lesson?